The UN High Commissioner for Human Rights says more than 300 people have been killed in protests in Iran, including more than 40 children, and denounced a hardening of Iranian responses to the protesters. Over the weekend, Iranian forces known as the Islamic Revolutionary Guards targeted Kurdish-populated cities in West Iran. They also attacked positions in northern Iraq held by Kurdish groups. The protests erupted following the death of Kurdish-Iranian woman Mahsa Amini while in police custody in September. Well, for more on this and on what's going on in the Kurdish regions, I'm joined now by Gia Gol from BBC Persian. Gia, let's talk about first these numbers. So, like I said, the UN says 300 protesters have been killed. You have an update on that number.
The latest we have from Iranian human rights group based in Norway, they monitor what is happening in Iran, is 416. And they say 51 of those have been killed are children below 18-year-old, and 9 of them are girls. And in the last week, just 72 people have been killed. They say 56 of them are from Kurdish region. It does explain, because last week the Kurdish region have been the scene of mass protest across that region. We're talking about 4 provinces in northwest of Iran. And some of the cities are very small, but the kind of confrontation we have seen there, we never seen before anywhere else in the country. Even Fars News, which is the official agency linked to Revolutionary Guard, said in some places in that region, they have used a live bullet against protesters.
The Kurdish regions, I mean, you're not surprised about this. Your family are from there, but these protests began there. And frankly, they've been the epicenter, the front lines of these protests from the very beginning, 3 months ago.
Yes, they have been. I think one of the reasons is the sense of community is in small towns are stronger. And also the Kurdish political parties who are opposition to the government, who normally reside in Iraqi Kurdistan, have influence, have networks inside the country. Also environmentalist group. There is so many cultural groups. These groups have organizational skills. That's why we see in Kurdish region, in cities, even neighborhood by neighborhood, if security forces, for example, attacking south of the city, in north of the city, suddenly people come out. So there is a coordination, and I think one of the commander in Revolutionary Guard recently has said, the head of a snake is in Kurdish region. If we cut it off, the rest of the country calm down. That's why if you ask anyone who monitoring that region, they say the Kurdish region have kept the flame of the protest alive in the rest of the country.
Do they have strong links and ties with Iraqi Kurdistan?
There is, because it's just in some places, for example, Piran Shar Javan Road is just an hour or 2 hours walking distance from the mountain you go to Iraqi Kurdistan. But Iraqi Kurdistan have remained silent because they have been surrounded by Turkey and Iran, powerful nations. They could attack them. As we talked today, just an hour ago, Iranian drones were attacking Kurdish bases, Iranian Kurdish bases inside Iraq just an hour ago. Yesterday, they attacked with long-range missiles and drones with the powerful missiles, attacked Kurdish bases. Iranian government says the Kurds are instigating riot inside the country, the Kurdish political parties. They say they are separatists, but I think at this point of time, many of those people who come into the street, the slogan they shout, Kurdistan is our eyes and our heart. It completely has changed the scene, because
it's unified people in the sense that, were they prejudiced towards the Kurds before?
In the past, the government was successful to say any movement in that region is separatism, or any movement in the Sunni-dominated area in Sistan or Baluchistan. It's a very impoverished region in south of Iran. Oh, there are a bunch of, rebels, and they want to separate from the country. I think for the first time, the Iranian people listen to grievances of other parts of the country. And the Kurds, particularly women in that region, they have been involved in the past 40 years. From day one, they oppose Islamic Republic of Iran. They have been fighting the system. There have been many uprisings, but never got that attention.
From 1979, frankly, that whole area has been against the Islamic Revolution.
Exactly. Since 1971, I would say after the referendum, they never accepted Islamic Republic of Iran, there was uprising. There have been numbers of uprising. There have been the government heavy-handedly cracked down those uprising, numbers of people killed. But the difference this time, I think the most important are, women are leading. Yesterday I was watching the footage, videos we received from those small Kurdish towns, very conservative. Significant numbers of those people were women.
Gia, though, I mean, we have seen women driving a lot of these protests at the forefront, taking on the security guards, taking off their hijabs. But the demonstrations as a whole, would you say it's accurate to say that they're leaderless?
I would say in the Kurdish region, no. The Kurdish region have political parties. Ironically, despite their differences, ideological differences, they come together in one voice, call for general strike, call for closing bazaar and shop. As we talk, numbers of cities, I mean, almost about 8 cities in the Kurdish region, they completely shut down their bazaars and shops. It is an impoverished region. Many people, even vendors who are going to the street selling potato and tomato, you can't see them in the street. So unanimously in that region, and most of the cities in that region, people have been protesting. But I think for the rest of the country, yes, we could say that. The opposition, who mostly resides outside of the country, they haven't been able to come together with one voice, lobby Western countries or calling on protest on a single day. That's why I think the problem in the rest of the country is that they don't have a leader at this point of time.
Gia, always fascinating hearing your thoughts and your analysis and your knowledge on this issue. Thank you so much.
Thank you.